Today, I'm going to be building a gingerbread house in Bloxburg. So let's get into today's video. So in front of me is the layout for the gingerbread house. I will put a picture on the screen right now of what it's supposed to look like. But here's a little 360 for you. I'm first going to start off by coloring all the exterior walls with this brown gingerbread house color. So I'm just going to go around and color these real quick. The fence, I'm going to put like a snow texture to kind of make it look like icing or like snowy, I guess. I don't really know. Alright, so now it's looking a little bit like the picture. A little bit. And then we're going to change this to the wall color as well. So I'm going to use the snow covered edge here. Oh, we can transform these. That's cool. I did not know that. For the door, I kind of like the dirt texture, so we're going to go with that. And then there's also some flower pots under the two windows up here, so let's go ahead and do those. So we're gonna get one of these wall planters and just put it like right there, and it looks to be like a brown color like this, but I'm just gonna make it a little bit darker. And then it has like 3 leaves with like a peppermint in the middle. Okay, so I decided to make my own custom. It doesn't look the best, but it will work. None of the other plants were working well, but now I just have to copy it up here. Alright, so next let's work on the roof. Of course, probably make it snow. So after I colored the roof with the snow texture, I went around the top and I added the ice covered edge to make it look like icing dripping down. And then after that, I went around with the transform tool to all of them to make sure that they were actually centered and right up against the wall so they're not floating in midair. So then after that, I added more ice covered edges along the wall trim on the outside just to make it look like more icing was dripping down, and overall just added like a realistic gingerbread effect to the house. I then let my indecisiveness win and kept messing around with these textures and colors for the candy walkway up to the door. I went with the pink, green, blue, and yellow theme, and overall it just made it look like candy stepping stones. After the stepping stones, I went on to a little bit of landscaping by adding this illuminated snowy spruce tree to that corner of the build, and then also into the right corner of the build. I'm just going based off what the picture shows and trying to replicate it as best as possible. Next, I added those few lollipops that you see out front with the same color scheme as the stepping stones, and then for the front porch area in front of the door, I put some structural beams down on the ground to make it look like icing was like spilling on the walkway. I don't know, you'll have to see the end product. It's a little hard to explain, but I think it turned out really, really good. After I finished all the icing by the doorway, I added some of the snow covered edge just to make 2 little like stripes under the window planters, just to add some more icing to make it look more like a realistic gingerbread house. So then I added a peppermint pillow on top of the door and some white structural beams just to give it some more detail around the door entrance. I then started working on the roof where I made my own custom gumdrops. So I colored the gumdrops and lined them on the roof just like the picture showed. It was the same blue, pink, green, red, yellow, and teal color scheme, similar to the stepping stones out front. Kind of brings the candy vibes all together for the house. After I did the front part of the roof, I went onto the back just to copy and paste the same thing over again. I then went around and placed these white structural beams on all of the corner parts of the circular room. It just added a little bit more detail and kind of looked like icing a little bit, not a lot. After all of that, I started working on the pyramid roof where I just added some structurals onto the corner pieces just to give it kind of like the gingerbread details that you would normally see. It's definitely not my favorite part of the build, but it's something creative that I tried to do. I finally got to start decorating a little bit, and I put some snow piles onto the roof and the snowflake carpet. I did it all the same colors as the stepping stones, just with the candy colors that I used previously, just to keep the consistency within the build. I think it turned out really good. And then I move on to the decorations for the windows. So I decided to add the simple holiday garland to the bottom of all the windows just to add a little bit more decorations because it was super bland. I think it added a little bit more color to the windows because I wasn't able to do the candy cane lining as shown in the picture just because of how much time it would have taken me. I went for something a little bit more simple, so I just copy and pasted the windows all the way around again. I added a few more decorations to the roof, and then I got to start finally decorating the entrance with all the holiday items we have in build mode. I added a few gingerbread men, some gnomes, and just a few other just Christmas decorations that were kind of pictured in the gingerbread house. The decorations definitely came together at the end, and I think this build turned out really, really good. I then looked at these second story windows and thought they were looking a little bit boring, so I used my white structural beams from the doorway to do another little fun structural pattern above the windows just to give it a little more flair or a unique design because it was just looking super boring and I didn't know what to put up there. But the beams turned out really good and I did them on both windows and a few other places as well. Lastly, I just went through the holiday section of build mode and I just saw a few items that I thought might be cool to add to the build. So I found this red bow, a nice illuminated Christmas tree that I could put outside, and then also this nice kick sled that I just put outside for decorations. These are just a few last minute ideas that I saw in build mode that I just decided to add. And then day 2 of building, I decided not to film, but I added a few more decorations that I will show you in the next clip, and I worked on the interior, and I think it turned out amazing. So I went ahead and added a few decorations of like these little like icing pipes along the door archway and these little pillars right here, but I also did the interior of the gingerbread house just off camera because it took me a long time. Here's the entrance right here, very plain and boring. But then here's the kitchen with just a bunch of gingerbread and like candy cane themed stuff. And then here is the living room with the high ceilings. And I even have a little painting that says it's the most wonderful time of the year. But yeah, this is just our cute little gingerbread house. There's like no bathroom or bedroom. Like, this is it. So I think it turned out really cute. I really like it. So thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you enjoyed, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you never miss a video or live stream. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!